He is the GM of the Giants. He's Jerry Reese. Jerry, how you feeling? Do you feel relieved that the draft is over?
Well, the draft is over, but personnel never over. It goes on all the time. So we like the draft. It's an important part of what we try to do around here, and it's a big project, and we feel like we got some good players out of this draft.
All right. Now, Jerry, I almost find it somewhat laughable that everybody is an expert that doesn't watch much college football. Don and I, we try not to do it, giving out grades for players that we haven't seen that much. But you've seen these guys. So how do you think you guys did in this draft?
We like this draft. We feel like we have some starters. All these guys have a possibility of being a starter at some point, I think. So that's what you look for. Obviously they got to come in and learn the pro game and get up to speed to how the pros play up here. But these guys are talented players that we drafted, and we feel good about them.
All right, so what do you like about Apple?
Well, Apple, he's I think he's a plug-in and play, player right now. He's pro ready for me. He can get in there. He's long. He can run with anybody in the National Football League. One of the fastest guys is a combine. He's played at a big program. He's been MVP of bowl games. So he has a great background, and he's skilled. He's skilled at that corner position.
Any concern that he's just a kid, 20 years old? I mean, there's an upside to that, but is there a learning curve before he's ready to play at a high level?
Yeah, we like him. He's a redshirt sophomore, so you're right. He's only 20, but Michael Strahan was only 20 when we got him as well. So if he ends up like Michael, we feel like we did the right thing. So we do like the young players. We do think he has a huge ceiling, and we think we can plug him in. He can jump out there and play opening day against whoever we're going to play opening day.
All right, speaking of plugging in, you draft Shepard in the second round. Is he ready to jump right into an offense that's expected to do a lot?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's one of those plug-in and play players as well. He's been very productive at a high level, big school, and he can play in the slot. He can play outside. Ben likes for our players, our receivers to play all over the place. He likes them playing the slot. He even likes Odell to get in the slot sometimes. So I think that's it's difficult for the defense when you have the players that can line up at different positions. So he likes guys who can line up at multiple spots, and we think this young guy can do it. He's been very productive, and he's a really good football player.
All right, now, what's been written, I just want to throw it out there for you to respond to. You guys got outmaneuvered where you got jumped at 9 and 8, and had the players that you really wanted were taken before you, the linebacker and the offensive lineman. Is that true? Did you guys get outmaneuvered for 8 and 9?
No, we didn't get outmaneuvered because we picked at 10 and we picked at 10. So you never get outmaneuvered. The people who got picked in front of us got picked in front of us. We went through all these scenarios. We were very happy. We talked this situation out. Apple could be the guy that we're going to pick right here. We talked it out several times, and we said, this guy, if he's in our window, if he's right here, and we'll pick him, and we'll be happy with him because, number one, he's the highest guy on our board in this situation, and number two, it was a tremendous value pick for us because, we feel like we have two really good corners with DRC and Janoris Jenkins, and, in this league, how they throw the ball, we feel like you got to have three really quality corners to compete at this level.
Now, you've always said this, Jerry, so this is probably the answer that you're going to give. You picked the best available athlete, not from need, but did you guys ignore the need of maybe another offensive lineman and a linebacker because Apple was the best available athlete at that point?
Yeah, on our board at the time, Mike, Eli Apple was the highest player on our board at the time without any issues that we were concerned about, and he was an easy pick for us. Again, like I said, it gave us he was a value pick because he was the highest player, and it was a need pick because you always need at least three corners. You need more than that, but at least three corners. You can line up and play with anybody if you have three quality corners. We feel like we have that now.
Did the controversy around Tunsil scare you off, or was he just not on your board anyway?
Well, the thing about, you probably heard me say this before, any time during the draft, in those first 10 or 12 picks, something funny is going to happen that you don't expect, and so you try to be prepared for anything, and so it's just another one of those funny things that happened on draft day, and, we were prepared, and we talked out this situation. Not exactly the situation that happened during the draft, but these players could be gone, or this could happen. So if it happens and Apple is right there, the highest guy on our board, he's he's an easy pick for us. We're going to pick him. And people say, why don't you move back? Why don't you move back to 20? And so if you do that, you move back 20, and Apple get picked in the next 2 or 3 picks. We feel like, wow, we should have stayed up and took Apple. So I was taught that a long time ago. If your player's on the board, don't be cute. Pick your player and keep it moving. So that's what we did.
Now, I know that you kind of have an answer on this because of the fact that he belongs to another team right now. But if that video never surfaced, is Tunsil a better player than Apple at that point? And were you scared off of Tunsil because of the video?
Yeah, I'm not going to make any comments. We think Tunsil, I can't say we think Tunsil was a good football player. That's all I can say on that. That's somebody else's player right now. We do think he was a good football player.
Did you think he'd be there at 10? Were you surprised he was there at 10?
We talked about situations where he could possibly be there at 10. We talked about every player that got picked in front of us. We talked about how they could possibly get down to us, because sometimes you have a wild card. Sometimes when the quarterbacks get picked over there in front of you, we thought 3 quarterbacks could have went in front of us. So there's all kind of scenarios we talked about, and we did talk about Tunsil could be down to us. We talked about Apple could beat us. We talked about other players who could be down to our pick at 10. We knew we were going to get a really good player at 10, and we did that.